Cheating is not the worst thing that can happen in a relationship. It's hard to build a platform unless you, I don't even want to say that because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, if you're a licensed professional and a therapist or, a spiritual practitioner or something, it just comes easy. No, I think you still have to work at it. But I just think when it comes to things that's feeding people mentally, spiritually, it's kind of harder because, we want the junk a lot, right? We want the entertainment, gossip, the latest, what it is. So I tried to figure out a way to kind of infuse the two, to try to still give, what needs to be given, but, give a little, Cersei or incentive, I guess, with the with the gossip. So sometimes you got to put the medicine in the candy to make you eat. So while I will take certain trendy or hot topics, I'll take those things, but still try to see what we can pull from that, see what we can learn and what we can gain from these topics. And if it's topics y'all want me to talk about, please put in the comments or write me. You can inbox me, whatever the case may be, as I start this, and we can continue to talk. And I hope this expands and grow, y'all. This is just coming off the top of my head, y'all. I have some things that I wanted to discuss, but I know, like, well, let me put a little bit of this what's going on in the entertainment world that people want to talk about, and see if I could kind of just pull some things into that to make y'all listen to me. Let's talk about Rasheeda and Kirk. I know, most of y'all probably watch Love and Hip Hop, and I've been watching Love and Hip Hop, and I've seen a lot of people going in about Rasheeda and Kirk and him cheating again. Here's my thoughts, okay? I have to honor my feelings and say I am a little disappointed in the way Rasheeda went about the situation with Kirk and Jasmine. I'm not disappointed in to say I feel like she should leave her man, because I know that is the temperament and that is the narrative a lot of people are talking about. Leave your man, girl. Why you still with him? Leave. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am, and this is an unpopular opinion, I'm not so much about pushing somebody to leave their significant other because they cheated or did this, that, like, that's not my mindset. I'm not that type of friend. I used to be when I was young. Like, I used to be like, you need to leave him because, it's just, if you're my friend or a loved one, like, I just don't like to see my people be in situations where they're being hurt and somebody is using them or misusing them. So if I feel like you can do way better, like, please, you can do way better. But growing and through experience, and me being married to my husband, we coming up on 13 years, but we've been together like I think about 16. I realize it's a lot more things that goes into relationships, and if you're just gonna jump ship in a relationship because going through some rough things, then you're gonna be jumping ship and leaving relationships all the time. Because like I've told people, cheating is not the worst. I'm sorry. Unpopular opinion. I need to do a segment within this. Unpopular opinion. Cheating is not the worst thing that can happen in a relationship. To me, it's not. Like, it is people who are in relationships with people who are chesters, if you know what I mean, and who have assaulted their children, someone in their family. Like, there's some very egregious things that someone you're in a relationship with can do that, to me might be a point of no return than cheating. Cheating, I can come back from. We can deal with the cheating, because like I like to tell people, cheating has a lot more to do with, to me, cheating has a lot more to do with that person than it has to do with me. And I feel like maybe that's why it's a lot of women out here and men who get so uptight in regards to cheating, because I really believe it has more to do with their own insecurity, feeling like that's a reflection of them. Like, oh, you're not happy with me. Like, they think that person is cheating because it's something with them. You don't love me, that's why you did it. You don't think I'm beautiful enough, or I'm not making you happy, that's why you did it. When I honestly feel it has something to do with them. They're incomplete. They're not happy. And that's why they're still out here trying to feel something within themselves that is only going to be filled by them, no one else. So if you've been cheated on, you didn't do anything for that person to cheat on you. It's that person that has something going on with them of why they cheated. That's just my opinion. Even if they say, oh, I'm not happy with you in a relationship, it's to say essentially you're not happy with yourself, because if this person was making life for you or trying to disrupt whatever happiness you have within yourself, then you would just remove yourself from that relationship. You wouldn't stay in the relationship even though you feel like, well, I'm happy, but this person is disrupting my happiness, or, projecting or making it hard for me to be happy, but I'm just going to stay here and I'm just going to go out here and find it with somebody else. Well, why not just leave? So I don't care how y'all can argue in the comments. I don't care how y'all slice and dice it. Somebody stepping out and cheating or committing adultery has more to do with them as a person than it has to do with the person that they're cheating on or cheating with. That's how I feel. So no, my advice first to Rasheeda would not be, oh, leave your husband. You know what I'm saying? My advice essentially would be like, are you happy? Like, are you happy? Are you happy in this situation? Like, if you happy in this situation, if the cheating does not bother you, and it's, if it starts with you, if you wake up every morning knowing your husband cheats on you and you're fine with it, then it don't matter what anybody else outside of you has to say. So you don't have to put on airs, because if you okay with it, if it's something that you can live with, fine. Now, if it's something that you're just living with, if it's something you're just living with because you're too afraid to disrupt your familiarity, like your environment that you've become accustomed and conditioned to, so you afraid to disrupt that because you feel like, oh, well, we got the house together, we got the businesses together, we got the kids, it's so much intertangled and intertwined, it's just more convenient to stay than it is to leave. I'm not going to necessarily say I'm mad at somebody for feeling that way either, but I would say then understand what it is then. Understand that you're not there for this man to be loyal to you or this woman to be loyal to you. You're not staying there because you want this man or this woman so y'all can have trust and loyalty and have an open, effective communication with one another. You are there essentially as business partners. Y'all have business that y'all have to take care of. And I'm not mad at that, because essentially, if you go look up the history of marriage, marriage was created on a foundation of business, not necessarily love. If you look at arranged marriages back in the day, whether it was arranged marriages from a royal standpoint, from royal family to royal family, or if it was just arranged marriages like, hey, you can marry my daughter because you got these cows, give me the cow, what they call it, a dowry, DOWRY, a dowry. Is that how it's called? If it's just for that, because I understand that is kind of some of the history of marriage. So I won't be mad at that either if you're just honest with yourself and understand what it is. And if that's what it is too, it's no need to be mad at him, and there's no need to be mad at the side chick. So in all of that, I'm not disappointed in Rasheeda if she wants to stay with Kirk for whatever reason she wants to stay with him. What I am disappointed in is how the only person out of Kirk and Kirk and Jasmine that owes Rasheeda loyalty, that said a vow to her, is Kirk. Jasmine can't do anything that Kirk doesn't allow. Jasmine cannot break Rasheeda's and Kirk vows. That's impossible for her to do without Kirk engaging and giving her the incentive or opening those gates or those doors to allow that to happen. So when I feel the energy that Rasheeda is giving to Jasmine, like Jasmine trying to come in and split up her family, Jasmine trying to come in and take her man, Jasmine, it just screams deflection. And it screams that she's deflecting from her issues with her husband, who made a vow to her, who made a commitment to her, and she's deflecting it onto this woman. And I don't like that. I'm disappointed in that, because we scream so much about Black women and empowerment and women empowerment, and when the universe tests us on this theory, we fail every single time. Every single time we fail. Because here it is, this woman, another Black woman. Yes, she slept with your husband, but I know it's hard and it's hurtful. And I could even understand Rasheeda expressing that to Jasmine. Like, listen, he hurt me. I'm hurt by that shit. I'm hurt by you too. Because I'm hurt at the fact that you could see another woman, another Black, because that's women empowerment. You see this man, he's with me. I'm a Black woman. And you obliged to it. That hurt my feelings, sis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want us to look out for each other. I want us to be better than what they're doing. We got to be better than that. So yeah, that hurt me, because I would think that if you was in a position of being with someone, being in a marriage with someone, that you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you. So yes, sis, it hurts to see that another woman doesn't care enough and does it. So I can understand that. We human beings, honor your feelings. Express how it hurts you and makes you feel. Now, just because it hurts you and you honoring the fact that it hurts you and it makes you feel that way, does not mean it's necessarily justified in giving her the blame. Because once again, Jasmine did not make vows to you, make a commitment to you, make a contract with you. Kirk did. So where I could get the sentiment of expressing the hurt that this woman came in and feel somewhat insecure about that, I understand that. That's human for you to feel that way. I cannot get with nor understand why you would fully blame, or you will put blame, on, like, the first time I let it, first time, okay. The second time, no. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when people are like, oh, she doing something with Kirk too. I don't know. I'm a little up and down with that theory that she could be doing, or she wants Kirk. I'm a little up and down that theory, because Kirk old as you know what. Kirk is old. He ain't a young chicken. Jasmine, Rasheeda's beautiful. Jasmine is beautiful too. Beautiful, young, attractive young lady. I don't think she is in in lack when it comes to having suitors. Okay, having young suitors, even having older suitors who's younger than Kirk. Cause let's see how old Kirk is. Kirk Frost, 55 years old. 55. Okay, my husband, 45. Jasmine could be with a 40-year-old, an established 40-year-old man. I could see Jasmine maybe being in her maybe mid 20s to early 30s, somewhere in that range, I guess. The whole point about it is Kirk is 55 years old. I don't believe that Kirk is just this ultimate prize for Jasmine. That's just my belief. I could be wrong, but that's just my belief because Jasmine is an attractive young lady. So I'm sure she get DMs and she gets suitors. I don't think she's just sitting there and the only person who's willing to deal with her is Kirk. Especially if she works in a club or whatever environment. I'm sure she gets high rollers and people coming in the picture all the time. Okay, so to say that you gonna try your best to break up Rasheeda and Kirk so you can have Kirk to yourself, I just don't get that. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't get that energy from her. I don't get the energy from her that she necessarily wants Kirk back. I do get the energy from her that she is resentful and that she is vengeful. Now, I don't necessarily justify her feeling revengeful, but I do feel like she is because when it first happened, her and got caught up, she was like viewed and looked at as like a home wrecker, which, like, I can't be mad at people for viewing her that way because objectively speaking, that is something that you did. So like you gotta take the good with the bad. You was enjoying being with a married man, messing around with a married man, then you gotta deal with the consequences of that's gonna come about it, which is that you're a home wrecker. And here we are again, coming back, and here's another season, Jasmine coming up, and you like, which is weird to me because if you look at the dynamics, let's look at the fact that, and this is why it's a lot of holes for me to just sit here and solely believe, oh, the mission is Jasmine wants to come in and break them up. Well, she could have been doing that in between the seasons where she was initially brought into the picture. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so she just fell back and then she decided, oh, this the year I'm finna get Kirk. Like, it's just a lot of stuff to me that does not make sense. Like, for one, if she was coming in her birthday suit dressed inappropriately, why isn't that something that your wife knows about Kirk? Why wasn't that a discussion you had with your wife? Why did you say, yeah, like, we gonna have to find another way because, she's coming on to me. She's being disrespectful. Why wasn't that even a conversation to have with her? Why wouldn't you have discussed that? Because had you discussed that with her, like, yo, please don't come to the house, or please don't come to the door dressed inappropriately when I come here, because that's disrespectful to my wife, and we got trust issues, or we got back good from the trust issue due to our situation. So, like, I'm gonna need you to respect that, or we're gonna have to find like a mutual place to meet, or I'm gonna have to have my wife here with me, whatever the case may be. Why wouldn't that be a discussion? Because had he brought it up, she would have been like, you would have known that this was something that was had. So this been going on and you never open your mouth, but you decide at this moment when your wife gets up and leave that you're going to talk about how she comes to the door. That's suspect. That's real suspect. And it doesn't give me, why would you say that if she's the one, like, I feel like that is I feel like that's the narrative he's trying to put out about her. Like, oh, you still want me, and you still throwing yourself out at me. And I feel like that's, if you hear what Rasheeda says, it's like, if you hear Rasheeda, if you hear Kirk's daughter, like, this is the narrative they're creating. And it's funny because this is the same narrative that Kirk started off with Jasmine. Oh, you coming to the door, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, it's this narrative that Kirk has created to say, she's throwing herself at me. That's the narrative he wanted to create. So going back to what I said, I could see Jasmine being revengeful. I could see her saying, hold up. Now, what you not going to do this time is then try to make me look a certain type of way this time and me take the brunt of things because you try and spin a narrative and you try and be out here like I'm on some this tip on that tip. And I'm going to tell you another thing from the energy that I see. I think Kirk is very much attracted to Jasmine. I mean, even like, it's the smirking, it's you trying to be serious. When him and Jasmine had that one-on-one conversation at that park, it's like you can't stop grinning and smiling. You talking to Jasmine about some serious nature, about the trust within, or the behavior she's doing that's causing friction once again in your marriage, and you grinning up smiling. But when you talking to Rasheeda about this same topic, you frustrated and angry. You gotta read, you have to read the room. You have to read body language. You can't just go off the face value of what people say, because people gonna say what they think you want to hear. You gotta read people's body language. And Kirk body language gives me very much so, I'm still attracted to you, and you know, I've been looking at you, and yeah, you know, I tried to throw that in there. Now, I will say this. Do I feel like he's been just in there, like, you constantly begging and asking her for some? No, I don't believe that. But do I believe that he done put little innuendos out there here and there just to see if she was going to bite? Yes, I do. I do feel like he kind of throw something out there here and there and be like, let me see if she going to bite it. You know? She don't bite? Okay, cool. Then, you know, he might be in his little feelings one day. Let me see if she gonna bite it. Like, listen, for those out there who got baby fathers, if you have experience of having a baby daddy, like, you've experienced, maybe not all of you, but if you got a baby daddy out there, especially if he's single, I think some of us could say we've experienced the little, you know, the little slick, flirtatious innuendos that's put out there just to see, like, let me see her temperature. You know, and that's what I get from Kirk. I think Kirk was feeling the temperature with Jasmine, you know. But no, I don't think it was something where it was just like pleading. He was pleading and begging. I will give him that. But I do feel like he was definitely putting out little hints and little things here and there to Jasmine. I do believe that. I could be wrong, but this is just what I believe. And I believe Jasmine gives me the energy that she knows. I feel like that's why she feels so confident, because she's like, it's kind of like when you know a dude been checking for you. Like, you, let's say that ain't even your baby daddy. Let's just say you know a dude been in your comments. You know this dude been, you know, writing you, DMing you here and there, saying all of this, saying all this stuff. And then you so happy to be in an environment with his girl. Or you see his girl online and, oh, my man is this and my man is that. And it's just like, really? That's interesting. But that ain't what he said. Like, that's the energy Jasmine gives me. She gives me like, oh, really? If you only knew. That's the energy she gives me. She gives me that energy like she knows this Negro been trying to deal with her. You know what I'm saying? She don't give me the energy of someone just throwing something out there, you know, throwing spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. No, she gives me the energy like she knows. Like, oh, I know. That's why I think she was ready at that table. She was like, oh, you want to do that? Oh, it's like she was waiting for the opportunity. It was like she was waiting for the opportunity. And somebody who's sitting there waiting for the opportunity, they know. Now, going further though, with a lot of people going at Rasheeda and, calling her dumb and calling her this and calling her that. I won't say that. The only thing I said is I am disappointed at the fact that she's diverting a lot of her energy towards Jasmine being the problem when the problem is essentially Kirk. Kirk is your problem, not Jasmine, but Kirk. And I don't believe this is the first time Kirk has stepped out into their marriage. They've been together since Rasheeda's been around 17 years old. And with that being said, I can say I'm disappointed in her, but I don't judge her. I'm disappointed, but I don't judge her because I feel like she's been with this man since she's been a teenager, like grooming. And I know people don't want to say that and associate that, but that's the truth of the matter. Truth of the matter is, and that's why I tell even my daughter, and I try to tell any young girl who's out there, like, let me explain something to you. When you're young and you meet these older guys, that's even in Jasmine's case too, when it comes to Kirk, when you meet these older guys, like, they're experienced, okay? They done been doing this a long time. So they know how to do the optical illusion. They know how to say just what you need to hear. They know how to play it the way they need to play it. And when I look at Rasheeda and Kirk, that's what I get. I get that he's been manipulating and grooming her for a long time. That's why he can throw a narrative out and she will take that narrative and run with it because he's been doing this to her forever. He's been gaslighting Rasheeda so long, she don't even know she being gaslit. Because at the age of 17, 18, 19, what you know about being gaslighted? What you know about somebody gaslighting you? You have no idea. I give her some grace in not judging her because you've been with somebody for so long since you've been young. Like, she hasn't been with anybody else. So I see a lot of reason why she stayed is because that's all she knows. All she knows is Kirk. I see her being there because even with her talking about her father, it's a season that she talked about her father not being around and her strenuous, tense relationship with her father. And we don't like to have these discussions, but in reality, the reality is that a lot of times women who don't have a present father figure or haven't had that father figure security or love, yes, we go out and we find a father figure in our men. That's the truth of the matter. That's even true with me. I can be honest in that, in me with my husband, because my father wasn't present and my father passed when I was 12 years old. I didn't find out about it until I was like 28, maybe 30. I don't know. That's a story for another day. That's a story time. I looked for guys with stability, guys with experience. I looked for guys who were intellectual, who were smart. I looked for these things. Those things intrigued me. I looked for guys that could teach me something that I could learn from. And I didn't realize that what I was looking for essentially was what I probably would seek out in a father. I didn't know that at the time. I only started to understand that once I had to start working on myself. And then once I realized that, I realized how much pressure I put on my husband. I realized how much pressure I put on my husband to have the answers, to make it right, to make it better, to make me happy. Like, this is not your father. It is not his responsibility to take care of you in that capacity. You are responsible for finding your own happiness. You are responsible for finding your own peace. You are responsible for having the answers you need for yourself, not making him have the answers for you. What are you going to do if he's no longer in your life? How are you going to adapt and adjust? So with that saying, I can kind of see myself in Rasheeda, which won't allow me to judge her in that way. That's why I can only simply say I'm just disappointed in the fact that she deflects and puts the blame on Jasmine. And I understand, to me, in my opinion, I feel like she does that as a means and a way to cope with staying with him. because there would be no other way to stay with him. If she would be honest with herself to say, like, yeah, you are a manipulative, gaslighting individual, and this is who you are. Because Kirk is 55 at this point. 55. Like, I'm not saying you can't teach your old dog new tricks, and I'm not saying that you can't grow as an individual, but the way Kirk tries to throw people under the bus. Kirk threw Jasmine under the bus. Well, tried to, but I feel like, oh, he tried. Did you see how he tried to throw her under the bus? Oh, you come with your birthday suit on. Kirk tried to throw Mendici under the bus. And Jasmine under the bus. She says you be at the bar and you be at the bar talking about these other women. So now you trying to throw Jasmine under the bus by saying because she's telling the truth on you, it's got to be a lie because she's saying this about Mendici's. So now you throwing Mendici's under the bus because you got caught up with your stuff. See, I see Kirk and I see what he be doing. You know what I'm saying? And if I ain't finna lie, if I was Mendici's, I could not fool with somebody like her. If I was any of those men, Scrappy, any of them, I would not fool with Kirk that way. Because yeah, take your stuff like a man. You don't gotta throw other people under the bus and try to air out other people. So like that dry snitching shit. And he said it in front of Yandy, like, you trying to throw other people under the bus and fuck up other people's marriages because you don't want to own your shit and hold yourself accountable. And not one time did he hold himself accountable. This is a 55-year-old man, and this man said, I erased the text messages because I don't want that negativity in my phone. I want peace. So when Rasheeda mad at you and she texting you things that's negative, because I'm sure Rasheeda is not always texting in a positive manner. You deleting all her stuff too? Like, are you serious, Kirk? You are a 55-year-old grown man, and that's the best that you can do. And let's talk about how low you are to send your grown daughter to go talk to Rasheeda and lay it on thick too. Oh, she just probably wants your man. Like when his daughter said, yeah, I was talking to Pops and he was talking, that's when he come and talks to me. It's when y'all are going through something, which to me read, oh, when y'all going through stuff, he gonna call me about it, talk to me about it, and tell me like, yo, dude, cause is it me? Is it just me? Because I really felt that when his daughter was talking to Rasheeda, I felt like that was nothing but Kirk's mouthpiece. Kirk, y'all, I'm just saying, I just get the energy and the vibe. Kirk is a very manipulative, gaslighting individual. I just felt I didn't like the fact that he had his daughter involved with him and his wife, and you used her as a mouthpiece. Now, whether she realized that's what her father was doing, whether she realized her father was setting her up to be the mouthpiece for him, but I definitely felt like what she was saying was all Kirk's verbiage. Oh, I don't think he meant that she was naked in a birthday suit. I think he just meant she was dressed like shorts on and stuff like that. Like, basically he sat here and he manipulated you, daughter, told you all of this stuff because he wanted you to be the mouthpiece to Rasheeda because Rasheeda wasn't hearing it at the time. Like, it's just very snaky maneuvers. And the fact that people want to focus on Jasmine is not the problem. Kirk is in every way possible. Kirk manipulating Jasmine. I feel like he did manipulate Jasmine. That's why another reason why I feel like Jasmine ain't for it, because I feel like Jasmine has come to the conclusion and realized Kirk is full of it. And Kirk gonna say and do whatever it is possible to get out of it. And he's horrible at it. That's why I know that he's groomed Rasheeda, because he's not good at it. The things that he says, it's just kind of like, can you be any more obvious, Kirk, in the things that you saying and the way that you move in? But I think Rasheeda's just gonna eat it up I don't think she's eating it up because she's dumb. I don't think Rasheeda's dumb. I don't think Rasheeda's unintelligent. I don't think she's eating it up because she believed everything that come out of Kirk's mouth. I think she know Kirk is full of it, and I think she know Kirk a liar, and I think she know what Kirk be doing. And I don't think Jasmine is the first at all. I think just Jasmine is the one he got caught up with it and the baby. Now, when I say I don't think Jasmine is the first, I'm not saying I feel like Kirk is a habitual cheater. Like all the years they've been together, he's just been out there just cheating. But I do feel like he has his moments where he cheats. Whether it's he's feeling unfulfilled in the relationship, or he got whatever going on, or who he around, or whatever the case may be. But I do feel at the course of them being together, Kirk has had on and off affairs. I do. And I think Rasheeda knows it too. And I don't think Rasheeda believes everything that comes out Kirk's mouth. I just think that Rasheeda is comfortable, and she doesn't seem to like change a lot. I don't think she's dumb. I just think she's comfortable with the life she's created. And I don't think she wants to change or disrupt that because she's familiar with what she's been dealing with. And she doesn't know what it looks like if she is not with Kirk. What does not being with Kirk look like? What does being out here on my own and doing these businesses look like if me and Kirk aren't together? Do we split the businesses? Do we still remain business partners and not be together? I wouldn't be surprised if she stops focusing less on their relationship and their marriage, and she just kind of focused on the business dynamics or the productivity of their relationship. Like, listen, let's just do what we need to do, make this money, build this life. I don't care about none of that. I'm not focusing on that. I'm just saying. But I don't like the fact, once again, going back, how I'm disappointed in that, because I want women to understand that you cannot deflect and put that energy of, oh, this woman is a homewrecker and disrupting my house, because that homewrecker can't do anything that man in your life doesn't allow. You know, a man can't come in and disrupt my household if I don't allow him to. If I'm entertaining it, if I'm doing all of these things, then I'm allowing this man to come in this house. So honestly, is this man disrupting my household? Is this man a homewrecker? If I'm opening the door for that, you know what I'm saying? If I open the door and let you in, you're not a robber. I invited you in. Or an intruder. You're not an intruder. You didn't break in. I let you in. So you can't be a home wrecker if somebody allows you in their home to do what you do. You let me come inside. You gave me the items to take with me. You say, here you go, take that. So you gave it to me. So you didn't disrupt anything. You know, the person who disrupted is the one who didn't tell you. Is the one who let the person in. So I do want us to kind of stop deflecting and giving these men that type of leeway to feel like they ultimately are the issue. Like, stop entertaining a woman. Entertain your man, because your man was the one who violated, not her. She can't violate unless your man violate, and your man violated. That's who's the problem. And I would have loved to see Rasheeda take this second opportunity to say, no, I don't care what she do. She can't do nothing that you don't allow her to do. And I also was disappointed at the fact that she didn't take the opportunity to take the suggestion of what Jasmine said. Like, I get it, you mad and you upset in a moment, but what she said did come off quite intelligent. Like, maybe me and you need to deal with one another and talk with one another. And your thought process is, no, you don't want to talk to her because she slept with your man. Or, no, you don't want to talk to her because your man texting her. She ain't text him nothing inappropriate. Your man text her. So you don't want to have to deal with her, because of what your man did. See, it's a, once again, deflecting and trying to blame and put issue on Jasmine. Jasmine is not the issue. Jasmine can't do anything that your husband don't allow. Jasmine cannot cross boundaries. She cannot disrupt. She can't do anything that Kirk didn't allow her to do. Nothing that Kirk didn't allow her to do. And my last note in saying is that, and I kind of see it differently too with Jasmine questioning Rasheeda about her intentions with her son Kanan, because I don't necessarily feel like, and that's why I say Rasheeda is not dumb in accepting to the issues, to what Kirk does, because that's why that son don't be around like that. That's a hard thing to do, to look at a child that probably looks like your son. I mean, that probably looks like your husband, to remind you every time he around how this man is out here sleeping around or dealing with other women. That's a hard reminder. And that's a lot for a woman to take in and to deal with. So I'm not justifying why that child isn't around, because regardless of the fact, once you accepted the situation and you accepted Kirk, you accepted that child. So the same way, if he wasn't showing up for your child consistently, like the court document suggested, the same way he wasn't showing up for your child is the same sentiment and the same energy you need to have when he's not showing up for Kanan, because that's your children's siblings. So no, you need to go get him, or I will go get him. You know what I'm saying? You know, form whatever relationship with Kanan that you need to have, because it is not an excuse for him to be an absent father and think that he can make up because he has money. And no, it's not cool to say, well, when he's here, we treat Kanan like he's our own. Well, no, when he's there, you treat him like you're supposed to. You know what I'm saying? But you don't treat him like he's your own, because if you treated him like he was your own, then you would be getting him the way you're supposed to be getting him. But you don't push or encourage Kirk to do that, because you still haven't fully accepted the fact that what your man did. And you're not going to accept it and heal from it if you keep deflecting it onto Jasmine. If you keep making Jasmine the issue and the problem, you're never going to be fully ready or capable to confront the hurt and the feelings that you have for what Kirk does. And every time you deflect and put that energy onto Jasmine, you tell Kirk that he gets a pass. And trust me, he gonna do it again. Why not? If he know that all he gotta do is just do them stupid, pathetic, sad puppy eye and throw everybody under the bus and make all kind of manipulation tactics and gaslighting tactics of why it ain't his fault, and don't hold himself accountable. Like, I have not seen Kirk hold himself accountable to say, you know what? I messed up, Rasheeda. I effed up. What do I need to do to get this back on course? Not at all. So somebody who never takes accountability and never fully owns their mistake in the situation, who can never say, hey, this wouldn't even be a problem if it wasn't for me. So Jasmine ain't your problem. Kanan's not your problem. I'm your problem. He never takes full accountability of anything. Somebody who's unwilling to take accountability is because they still gonna do what they gonna do. They don't want to admit the wrong because they know they're gonna do it again. They don't want to hold themselves accountable because they're leaving room for error. So every time you take your foot off of Kirk's neck and you allow him to deflect and throw that onto Jasmine, you are then telling him that keep doing what you're doing. It is important for us to own and take responsibility for our actions and inactions in events or situations that transpire. So, whereas, yes, I feel like Rasheeda can honor her feelings and express the hurt that she feels in regards to Kirk's actions, and she can be hurt by the actions of Kirk and Jasmine creating a child in this world. At the same time, she also has to hold herself accountable. She has to hold herself accountable of how she allows Kirk to deflect and how she enables him in his behavior. She also has to take accountability that she has not healed from this situation. Just because you put a band-aid on something, just because you overlook things, and you try to paint a perfect picture and make things look a certain way, does not mean that things are healed and things are better. And that's a result of seeing the fact that Kanan is not around as much, which says a lot. Because if you've accepted the situation, you've accepted this child, then you would make Kirk stand up and be the father that he needs to be. Because I couldn't see myself being around a deadbeat daddy. You come get your child here or there. Like, nah, if you're supposed to get him every other weekend or the third weekend, you need to go get him. And if you can't get him that weekend, then you need to make up for it for the next weekend. So at the end of the day, like, we can't spend our lives deflecting and putting blame where it's convenient so that we can keep our blinders on. We have to ultimately look at ourselves and look at what we've contributed to the situation. It's easy to play the victim. That's easy to do. It's hard to step up and look at how you've also victimized yourself. Because it's easy to look at how Jasmine victimized Rasheeda. It's easy for Rasheeda to see how Kirk victimized Rasheeda, but Rasheeda needs to see how she victimizes herself, how she continuously puts herself in the situation to be a victim. And like I was told a long time ago, you can't be a victim and a warrior. If you're a warrior, then you gotta do what a warrior does, but you can't play victim while being a warrior. You gotta choose. Either you're gonna play victim or you're going to stand up and be the warrior. That's all I have for y'all. Peace and blessings till next time.